All right. Welcome to another episode of The Real Deal. Happy Saturday. Let's get it. All right. Welcome to another episode of The Real Deal. I am your host, as always, Courtney Harden. Happy Saturday, September 16th, 1 p.m. So you know what time it is. You can follow the show on all podcast platforms, whether it's Google, Apple, Spotify, Spreaker. We're on Roku TV, BS3TVLive.com, BS3TV, BS3Network.com as well. The Real Deal with Courtney Harden, following on all social media platforms. Like I always tell my guests or tell everyone, if you Google The Real Deal with Courtney Harden, you find all the shows. So I don't have to say all where you can always find it, but you can find it all podcasts and social media platforms as well. So I'm not going to keep you much longer with the intro. I got a special show, special guests, friends of the show, podcast family as well. I'm about to bring them on right now because I'm not wasting any time. You've seen them on, YouTube, social media. They have the Blonde Blitz. That's the podcast as well. So I have Deb Whitcas and Nikki my homegirls, my peoples, my family, everything else. So welcome to the show. Really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, absolutely. So these are the hosts. These are my people, my girls, my women,
Yes.
my team from the Blonde Blitz, where you can catch it on Wednesdays right at 8 p.m. Eastern time on YouTube. Like I said, if you Google the Blonde Blitz, you can find it anywhere from YouTube to Facebook to all the social media and podcast platforms. So welcome to the show. I got both of you on the show this time. Before the show launched, I had both of you on the show right before. So I said, gotta get them together. So it's the Blonde Blitz and The Real Deal together. So thank you again for coming on the show.
Oh, thanks for having us. We're a package deal, so
yeah, right. I had to go through their agent to get them on this time.
They got people now.
So I went the professional route this time. But then again, when I was talking to Dan, he was telling me all the things. He said, "Oh, I can get them both." I said, "Well, I usually just reach out to them like personally because that's how we do. I can just get right to them." But I said, "They superstars now, so I had to go with the professional route." And then I said, "I'm going to go the route."
Just reach out to us.
And I just reached out to you. He did say that. Well, I'll do it for you. I was like, "Okay, cool." And then I said, this don't seem right. Let me just reach out to them personally myself.
I love it.
So I did that. So again, I appreciate it. I always appreciate your time, and I thank you for the time and everything too. So, all right. Well, let's talk about the show first. The Blonde Blitz is on its third week, going into the fourth week. So it's been almost a full month. So how has that been? I see the dynamic. I love the chemistry. I love the show. How has that been now? You guys have some great guests over the last couple of weeks. How has it been now that the show has launched and it's been 3 weeks?
It's been great. I know personally I'm having a blast. I think Nikki is as well. She can speak to that. But yeah, we've had some great guests. AC Caswell. We've actually got Jen Welter coming on next week. We're excited. The very first female coach in the NFL. So she's gonna talk with us about that. She has she has a Barbie launch. She's part of she's her own Barbie.
Right,
so she's gonna talk about that, about women in sports. And yeah, I think Nikki and I wanted to put this podcast together because first of all, no one else is doing it. We obviously both love football, and also we want to promote women in sports because we think it's really important. So that's kind of why we got together, and we do a little bit of breaking news. We have our picks. Nikki does some great fantasy football advice. I'm learning slowly but surely. And it's been a blast, and we're looking forward to doing it for a long time.
Yeah, I'm looking forward. I'm looking forward to more content, more guests, and I already know I'm going to be a guest on the show. I'm putting it out there.
Yes.
I'm going to be there
We'll have
sooner or later.
Yes.
I'm sure probably Giants Eagles week. I'm sure that's when that's the big because you got two Eagle fans right up here, and
Yeah.
I'm
Nick is
ready
a
for
Giants
it.
fan, so you know how we do this every year. So we got to
Every
have
year.
that rivalry. So, but Nikki, how has it been for you? How the shows have been so far, and what you're looking forward to in the future for the show?
Yeah, honestly, Deb and I both became available this summer and reached out to, Fantasy Sports Corporation. And I think honestly, it was kind of almost at the same time. And they were just like, well, Deb's available and you're available, and you guys both want to do kind of the same show and promote women in sports, and you want to talk about these breakdowns and these game matchups, and let's just kind of put it all together for you guys. And the Blonde Blitz was born. And for anyone who thinks this is easy, it took us 3 months. And we're still working out. This is our preseason, right? There's still elements of shows that work and they don't work, and people we want to get on, and schedules we're adjusting, and I'm learning from Deb. You guys see those Emmys behind her. So I've been grateful to learn from her, and I think we're learning from each other, right? And that's what makes everybody better.
I've learned from Nikki too. So
it's every week. We've
great.
got a team chat going. What can we do better? What do we like? What do we not like? And we're just in constant communication, and I think that makes a really good show. And we're gaining a lot of traction, and I just. You know what? I think it was meant to be. So we're here and we're having a good time. And anybody, if you ever have anything for us or anything you want us to try or feedback, we are open. We will have our people contact
your people.
Yeah, contact your people. Right. That's what happened. Like you said, it's like, okay, let's do it. I'm going to do it. Like I said, when we was talking, so I'm going to do it professionally. So this time, like you said, I can always hit you guys up anytime. Of
course you can. You know what it is? And I feel good saying this. Like, I'm sure Deb gets it too, or I'll get all these DMs and everybody wants us on, which is great. We love that. But it gets very overwhelming. So we put everything in one spot and be able to, and Deb's on West Coast time. And sometimes you can't get both of us, or you can get one of us. So it's really just to keep everything in one spot. We got a great team behind us, and I don't think we'd be half as good as we are without them pushing and helping.
Helps so much to have our entourage with us, and we're very blessed. I think we're blessed in general, just to be on this show, to have our own show, and to talk NFL football and what we love.
Yeah, I love seeing that too, because you said you got to have a team around you that can do things that like you said, like, okay, you guys are the host and the co-host and host, I should say, but it's good that people can actually book for you and everything too, or give you guys like anything that you need, and you guys have to. That's one less thing, or two less things you have to worry about. Is just say, okay, who's the guest? All right, we can do our research, and then we can present a great product. So I love the show. I knew once you two were together, it's like, oh, this is gonna be great and everything too, because I know how hard both of you work.
Yes.
And like I said, you guys have been on my show many, many times, and been on your shows many times. So it's like I know how hard you work and what product you guys are going to have. So it was like I said, it was meant to be, and it took a couple months into making, but now the product is here. It's out there. The brand's here. The Blonde Blitz. That's a brand now. I thought that's a product brand. I love to see it. I love seeing it. So as I told you both, like I love seeing people win just in general. And I am a big champion of women in sports, women in anything really, and doing their thing. So a W for that for you guys is a win for a lot of people. So much as I can promote it, I will. So I definitely will do that. And I think that's the easiest thing to do is promotion. Like it's easy to promote something for someone. It's like I always say, like a post, share a post, well, if they have articles, do those things. That's the easiest thing to do. People say, what can I do? Just do that. That's it. Champion that. I think it's the easiest thing to do. So there's so many blessings more for both of you. I'm really excited to be a part of the growth too. So I'm glad of that. So, all right, well, let's get into some NFL football. I'm going to start with the Giants. I'm going to do that. Let's get that. I know.
You're killing me here.
I saw the show yesterday when Nikki just went off. She said, "You know what? I'm tired of this. Like I'm sick of talking about this, but I'm not gonna
So let's just do it again. No.
Yeah,
you know what? I am the Eli Manning this week. Remember that championship game in San Francisco where he was just getting beat to hell and he got back up and he took it again? Yep. That's how I feel this week. It has just been one after the other, after the other, after the other. So, all right, last shot. This is the last shot.
One more time.
Well, when you came on the show, we got to talk a little bit about it. I'm not gonna throw dirt on. I'm not gonna do that. It was week one, so we'll start there. There's a lot of overreactions of week one every single year.
Absolutely.
First couple of weeks, but how did you? I can't even say. I'm not gonna ask how you felt because that's not the question. But what can the Giants do? They can't play no worse, I don't think. Right. What can they do moving ahead? Let's go there. What can they do moving ahead into week two? Now that we know what happened, the Cowboys just came in and scored on a lot of different weird. It was a weird game too, a block field goal. Yeah, where we won, block field goal. They scored on sacks and all these things, fumbles and all this. So, but what was your reaction first, and how can they just move on and get to week two?
Yeah, I mean, what a tease, right? You wait all year for this, and the first 3 minutes, why they got away from Saquon is another. I understand you're down so much you can't keep running the ball, but that was just one element that I was like, well, why are we moving away from Saquon? Because it was working for the first 3 minutes, and then you get that rare call on Andrew Thomas who just doesn't make mistakes, and then it's the block field goal. And I called it the series of unfortunate events. And sometimes, it's that first week out, it was pouring rain, it's sloppy across the board. And I think even for the Cowboys, it's like, are they really good? Yeah, but let's see, because you got a Giants team that was completely unprepared. So now you got the Jets. So I think that, even for the Cowboys, it's a good test to kind of see, all right, well, what kind of team are you really? This offensive line and covering the team from in the spring, from OTAs and mini camp and going all the way through to training camp and being there, the offensive line was a concern for me from the start. And I think, as people who do follow me for the Giants coverage, I said that and I maintain that. And special teams was a huge concern. And I think it's interesting that there's two elements of the team that they can't get right. And it's been over a decade. And people want to listen, they're throwing a lot of mud everywhere. Oh, it's Daniel Jones, it's the O-line, it's the defense, it's Wink, it's Brian Dable. Hey, guys, it's everybody, right? Yeah. It's a team sport. Right. It's never really just on one person. Jones can play better. That offensive line has to get it together. I think now and we talked about this on Blonde Blitz on Wednesday. We asked AC Caswell, hey, and particularly bad loss, it's that mental aspect, right? You've got to turn the page and you've got to move on. Now, if we see this again on Sunday, I'm probably quitting. This is my last show. Just letting everybody know I can't do it again. I'm just not getting battered all week. But I think it's just that mental prepare. Okay, hey, you laid an egg. I hope they got it out of their system. And come back stronger, right? Arizona's a nice rebound team, I think, for them. So let's just hope they get it together.
See, and that's why I wanted to ask you that, because as we're all we could be very objective of our team. When things don't go right, we can actually have an opinion. Yes, we're fans first, but we can be objective. Like you said, okay, I see, 40-0, laid an egg. Okay. This is really bad. Let's move on from it. And you're right. It wasn't. I saw a lot of comments of Daniel Jones holding the ball too long. It's he didn't have any time to throw the football. It's that was the line was getting decimated by the Dallas front four. And then and we talked about this before, Nikki. We were saying how Dallas. Yeah, we know how good they're going to be on defense. It's the question was their offense was the question. So we didn't really get to see what they could do on offense because they were lights out on defense. They were flying over the ball. So it wasn't just Daniel Jones. You said it was offensive line. It was game plan. It was Brian Dable. It was a lot of different elements. When you point the finger at everybody when you get a loss like that. So, but I won't dump. I'm not going to dump like that on you anymore. I know we're good friends too, even though we talk a lot of trash and you've heard it all week. So there's no need for me to do it either. So we'll move on to week two. Like I said, overreaction a lot of week one and week two. So, but let's move on to a team that is 2-0. Our Philadelphia Eagles. I had to transition. I got to transition to that. So Deb, we'll start with you on this one. Eagles 2-0. They haven't looked the best. very high expectations
Yep.
heading into this season.
Well, and we should have high
Yeah,
expectations.
right,
We're coming
right.
off the Super Bowl, but I mean, I kind of said this last night that I feel like everyone was expecting that same team, and I think Eagles fans just have to realize it's not the same team. Different coach.
Yeah.
Obviously same head coach, different OC, different DC, like different players. People laugh.
Yeah.
It's football. So I think we have a really good team. The second win wasn't flashy. The first one definitely wasn't. But I think they improved from week 1 to week 2, and I think they're going to continue to get it together. So, yeah.
I do too. The interesting thing is, I mean, hearing it here in Philly, hearing it like, oh, we're the walls are caving in. It's this. I'm like, we're 2-0. Like, stop complaining. We're 2-0. Yes, Hurts hasn't looked the best. Okay. But the running game looked very well. It's like, let's just transition and play old school football. Let's
they went back to basics. Like that, and
exactly.
That's their basic is the run game, and everyone knows that. And they win when they enforce a run game. And
yes. They're showing a lot of ways that they can win. And yes, it wasn't pretty in game 1. It wasn't the best in game 2, but they still put up 34, 20, 34, 20, 28. So they put up 34 points in game 2. Like, okay, the offense is not clicking. All the passing game is not clicking like it was. But as you said, going into this season, different OC, different DC, different schemes, and all those things. And they just got to get on the same page with the passing game, and I think they will. But at the end of the day, they said they are 2-0 still. So that's the scary part.
A win is a win.
Yeah, a win is a win. Okay. Yeah, I love that Jalen Hurts said that. It's like, hey, we're winning. It's not the prettiest, but we're not going to be that team. Teams have tape on this team from last year where they caught people, I think, by surprise of how good they were offensively, and how explosive they were. Now teams are with the safeties, they're backed up. They're not going to allow you to go over the top. So they're thinking, okay, we'll just have to run the football then. Let's do that. So, but Nikki, from the other side, what do you think of how the Eagles have played, and what do you think of their 2-0 start?
So the fan in me, I'm sick of it. Like, I'm just like, oh my God, why do they keep winning? And we've talked about it. The objective side of me is like, you have to give credit where credit's due. And I actually got into, I really try not to get into these Twitter fights anymore, but it was just so frustrating because I had said, I thought the Eagles would win the division. They're the team to beat. And it was kind of everybody came at me, and it's like, let's really be objective here. The Eagles did have their down years where they were just like, weren't a good team, right? They had their moment of being the laughing stock. What they've been able to do and turn this team around, and your capologists, hats off to them, because I don't know what they do over there, but you lose a ton of talent, but it seems like you haven't really missed a beat. I think everybody just calm down. It is, we are just, this is still preseason light here.
Yes.
And you've had a lot of success in a very short amount of time. I like Jalen Hurts as an athlete. I wish he was on another team because I would just root for the hell out of this kid. I think you probably have your franchise quarterback. I do see a lot of fighting with your fan base, how you don't. This kid sucks, this, that. You guys are 2-0. You're coming off a Super Bowl, granted a loss, but, you're coming off Super Bowl. That is successful. So, kudos to what they have done. I hate it. I can't stand watching it. It's just breaking my heart. I would love to be able to go into Lincoln Financial and the Giants beat the Eagles. I don't know when that is going to happen. I have no idea. But you've got to give credit where credit's due. And I can't stand these fans who just want to come at people like us, and because we're being objective. So it's the truth, right? If you're the Giants, you're the Commanders. You've got to build this roster. You've got to get through Philly and Dallas. That's it. You've got to be able to get through them. It's plain and simple.
Yep, exactly. And now, speaking of, Daniel said, "What's up, guys?" There he is. We were just talking about him being professional. The producer of the Blonde Blitz. Yes, does a real good job. And I already told him he's got to come on the show as well. So definitely going to have him on. So, but yeah, you're right. It's one of those things, like, people always like, well, let's nitpick at something what the Eagles are not doing. Yeah, we see they're not explosive. We see that, but they still won. They found a way to win. It's
all that matters.
That's all that matters. At the end of the day, it's all about winning. That's what I love about Jalen Hurts. He says it's all about winning. Yeah, because next week they play Tampa Bay. it could mean that he's going to pass for 40 times in the game, or it can go back to the run game. I mean, it's just that simple.
And we have that option too. That's what's great.
Right. Just like Nikki was saying about, okay, with Daniel Jones, he didn't go to Saquon because they were down. But I'm sure they're going to feed Saquon. I mean, he's your best player. I'm sure they're going to probably run the football a lot, and that opens up play action. That opens up the, for the Waller and to get open, things like that. Listen, this is preseason, and this is like their preseason, but it's the real games. So they, now it's just all about just getting on a roll. I wouldn't panic until like week 4 if our team's starting to go down. Usually about week 3, week 4. But if you go down 0-2 or 0-3, it's like, okay, what's going to happen? What's this going to happen? So for your sake, Nikki, I hope the Giants do not go 0-2 because
I can't do the knock jokes anymore.
And then you got San Francisco on Thursday.
I know. Oh my God, they've got to. I can't do it. I can't.
Well,
let me ask you guys. Do you guys think Jalen Hurts is the future there in Philly? Because I see so many people don't like him.
Absolutely. I just feel like some Eagles fans, they want so much. It's like we don't deserve them. That's what I feel sometimes as a fan. But yes, he's our franchise guy. He's the guy. He's just got to learn a new system. He'll make the adjustments. I think he'll be fine because we've seen last year he can do it. So he's been paid. It's now just continue to progress. He's a hard worker. We know that, and he's got weapons. I'm going to ask you guys about the AJ Brown thing too. I'm going to ask you about that too, whole thing. But I really believe he's the franchise guy.
I do too. I mean, and I was one of the ones who wasn't sure before last season started. I was like, arm, okay, great, amazing athlete. We all know that, from his college days. And when I tell the story all the time, I was at the home opener last season, and what I saw on that field, playing the Vikings, I was like, yep, he's it. All right, I was wrong, and I'm glad I'm wrong. So
right, and I just wanted him from last year when I said, okay, we've got now weapons, see what he can do, and I just wanted a progression. I didn't see this type of leap either, but I'm excited to I'm definitely.
Well, I don't think anyone thought that. I knew the Eagles were going to be good last season, but I don't think anyone expected them to be in the Super Bowl.
Super Bowl, right? Yeah.
Whereas now this was my prediction. I had the Eagles.
I know you had it.
Yeah, you did. You definitely did. You did.
Oh, but I'm an idiot, and I'm wrong. Don't you know that, guys?
Yeah.
I was an idiot for taking the Jets last week.
Oh, I know we got to talk a little Aaron Rodgers too, but let's talk AJ Brown and the whole AJ Brown and Jalen Hurts, the little spat on the sideline.
Yep.
What'd you make of that, Deb? Did you think it was a big deal?
No, I mean their teammates. I love AJ Brown. He's one of my faves for sure. I interviewed him at Super Bowl, and I could barely get questions out. That's how excited I was to be in front of him, literally.
Right.
I think he's just, obviously, just an amazing player, and he's used to shining, and it just wasn't his game. It just wasn't his game to shine. Will he shine next week? Maybe. You know what I mean? It's AJ Brown. So, I mean, I'm glad I'm glad they talked about it. I don't know if he approached it the correct way during the game, but it got out, and they had a moment. It's over, and they talked about it, and let's go play some football.
Yeah,
let's win. You know what I mean? And I think both of them, that's what they care about, and that's probably why it happened, because that these guys both want to win. It's just it's not always it's a team effort.
Yeah, it's a lot of ups and downs during the season. It's 20 weeks if you get to the Super Bowl and you're competitive. And I think AJ Brown just wanted to be a part. He just said, I want to be a part of this. I want to contribute. And he is. He's a contributor.
He's a huge
it just
part
wasn't
of it.
his night. Just wasn't his night that Thursday. It was Devontae Smith's night. It was his night. It was DeAndre Swift's night. It was just their night. And defense played okay. They played well. They got a lot of turnovers, but they allowed Minnesota to keep in the game.
Right.
But
Well, and we also had. I mean, Bradbury was out, Dean was out.
A lot of injuries. Yes,
that's a lot of injuries, and that's one of my concerns about the season. Is we're at week 2, and there's a lot of injuries. But we can talk about that in a bit.
yeah. What do you think, Nikki, of this whole thing? I know people bringing up, this could be the T.O. McNabb. I'm like, it's not that far. There's no.
I don't think it's I don't think it's that. It happens. We see this all the time. I mean. Hello, we saw Odell Beckham do it to Eli Manning. Like it happens. Like you guys said, they're very competitive, and I think sometimes just emotions get the best of you. Hey, they worked it out, right? As long as this doesn't continue to carry over, just work it out, say what you got to say, and move on, and hopefully lose games. No,
it was just one of those things. Like people are saying AJ Brown's. I've heard Michael Irvin said he thinks AJ Brown's selfish, and no, he just wants the football. He just and I'm sure they're going to game plan because I mean, look at Dallas Goedert. He hasn't been much involved either, barely in this offense. So they're just trying to figure it out. I think
wide receiver's not a diva. Come on,
I know, right? Yeah, yes.
Right. I was gonna say it was a night game. A Thursday night primetime game. Like you want to shine in those moments, and I get it. He'll have his time.
Oh yeah, he'll have his time. Definitely, it was Devontae Smith's time the first 2 weeks, and Devontae Smith is coming. Like he's definitely yes. Yeah, they are. Devontae Smith is becoming that number one receiver type, and you could see the chemistry that him and Hurts really have. And AJ Brown, they had it last year, so it's. I'm sure any team would love those type of problems.
Right. Same thing. I was like, listen to what we're saying.
I
know, really.
Yeah, I'm sure that is problems. So, all right, enough Eagles. We talked the Eagles enough.
Thank you.
Sure Nikki probably said, I'm getting a headache with all these Eagles.
I was. It's today.
Well, you got 2 Eagle fans, so that's
I'm aware.
But let's talk about Aaron Rodgers before we get into week 2. Aaron Rodgers goes down 4 plays on the Monday night. I mean, what electric atmosphere to have on Monday night, and the hype of the Jets, and they still pulled out to win. What was your reaction, Nikki? I'll start with you. What was your reaction with Aaron Rodgers going down like that and the Achilles? And we know how much that's going to be an 8 to 12 month recovery. He's an older quarterback too. But what do you think? And what do you think of the Jets moving forward? Do you think they can actually get on a run and make the playoffs in that tough division?
I mean, it was the same reaction that everyone had, right? Queen Latifah comes out. She does this amazing, rendition, national anthem. It's 9/11, right? You got Rodgers out there, the flag. I think, what was the stat, Deb? 72 seconds. And that was it, right? And I think everyone was just watching the game. We were like, that just happened? Like, right. And I'm like, Danny, if he's still here, I'm like, I think I texted him, MetLife is cursed. Like what? Like, oh my God, like what is going on here? I feel bad. I don't like Rodgers as a person, but as a quarterback, as a talent, you got to give him his due. But I feel bad because that team was so like hyped up for him. And I really, really thought he was going to help take them to the next level. They got a lot of good young talent on the Jets, and I do really like their defense. I just think they've had a quarterback problem for a really long time, and here was like the solution. And now you're back to Zach Wilson, right? And I'll let Deb take this part. I know she was tossing around. We had this conversation about what quarterbacks should you go after one if you're the Jets? Or are you just going to roll with Zach Wilson? So, I feel bad. I feel bad for the fans. I feel bad for the team. I feel bad if you're just a fan of the NFL, because I think we all wanted to see Aaron Rodgers in New York.
Yeah, definitely. Deb, what was your reaction? And that would be my next question. Do they roll with Zach? I believe they do. I think they will. They're going to roll with him until – okay, let's see what they do, because they got you talking about defense. They got a really strong defense. And what they just did to Josh Allen and the Bills – that was because you thought like, okay, Rodgers is down, the Bills should just run away with this. But turnover after turnover, and now they go against Dallas. I think that's gonna be a test. I really feel like it's gonna be a test for both teams. I don't think Dallas is gonna come and just roll right in, because that defense is good. On top of that, they got a good running game. They got Garrett Wilson. If Zach Wilson, I'm not really a believer in him, but I think they're going to roll him now. If they go like 1-5, 1-6, do they go with Carson Wentz? Do they go with Nick Foles? Do they call Tom Brady? I know that was one thing that was out there. Calling 46-year-old Tom Brady, Colt McCoy, Matt Ryan, who's in the booth now. Yeah. So there's quarterbacks, but I don't think they're the solution either. But Deb, what do you think of what the Jets should do, and what was your reaction to the Rodgers situation?
I think honestly, Nikki nailed it. She said everything that I literally would say. I'm bummed. I mean, when it happened, I mean, how he's so hyped up, changes teams. You know what I mean? Jets were looking, better last season, and you're just really hyped up to have a great season with Aaron Rodgers, and then he goes down within the first couple seconds of the game, the fourth play. Like, how does this happen? Yeah. Again, I'm not an Aaron Rodgers fan at all. Personally, I don't like him as a person, but he's a great quarterback, and I think he could have brought the Jets into the postseason for sure, if not the Super Bowl. And like Nikki said, they have some great young players, Sauce Gardner, and everyone's talking about Garrett Wilson as well. I mean, I don't know. What do you do? Like Zach Wilson, he does Zach Wilson things. Like everybody knows that. Do you stick with him? They say they're saying they are, but I feel like maybe in the background there might be some phone calls being made. I don't know. I don't cover the Jets, but I think that may not be a bad idea. Let's play Wilson for now. Let's see how he does, and maybe have some, a plan B. Or plan C, I guess.
Plan
really.
C and D. Yes.
Yeah. As we learned from San Francisco, you need a healthy quarterback.
Exactly.
You need about 5 quarterbacks. It seems like. But it's interesting with Zach Wilson. Like, he's been there since 2021. I think when he was drafted, at least 3-4 years. And now that he's had Aaron Rodgers for those few months, okay, did he learn anything? You would think he might have. Yep. Did he learn something? Did he ask Aaron Rodgers some questions? No, Aaron Rodgers is not the most, likable guy, but all the time. But maybe he learned something from one of the greatest of all time, just in those few months. And he did say, "I'm going to, I will talk with Aaron Rodgers throughout the season just to see what he sees, and maybe he saw some things that what Aaron Rodgers can do. I mean, he's not going to be Aaron Rodgers, but." They gotta rely on him to maybe throw the football. You can't run the football all the time. You're gonna have to make plays, especially when you have a good receiver, a very good receiver like a Garrett Wilson. So I don't know.
I was gonna say, Courtney, to your point too, like Jordan Love was behind Aaron Rodgers how many years in Green Bay, and where no one was really sure what Jordan Love was about, and he killed it last week. 205 yards, 3 touchdowns, like. Who knew? So I mean, maybe you're right. Maybe Zach, he hasn't obviously been, under Aaron Rodgers for that long, but maybe he has learned some things. So
yeah, we'll see. We'll see what the Jets do. They're in a tough division because I don't think the Bills are as bad as they played. I think they'll right the ship too. But man, I'm telling you, Josh Allen, he's getting it, and he's getting it because the turnover machine he's been over the last couple of years, and he's holding them back with those turnovers. But I think the Bills will be fine. Miami looks really good. That explosive offense. So as of right now, as long as Tua stays upright and healthy, they'll be fine. And then you got the Jets, and then New England, like they held it up against us really well coming back. So that division might be much stronger than we think. So we'll see. We'll see what moving forward. But let's get into some of these week 2 matchups. I wanted to ask you guys, what games are you guys looking forward to? What games or any players or anything like that moving into week 2? Nikki, I'll start with you. Any particular games outside of Giants Cardinals that you're looking more forward to?
Bold of you to assume I'm looking forward to the Giants.
Yeah, true.
Well, thankful. You know what though? It's like it's 4:25. There's nothing worse than your team losing like on a primetime game, and then you gotta go to bed, right? And it's like, gotta go to work on Monday. So another late afternoon window game. But at least there'll be a few hours for me to calm down should the worst happen, maybe. I think, what do we have? Bengals, Ravens this week, right? That's always one. That's just always a rival that I like to watch. I think Chiefs Jags is another one. That's going to be fun, high scoring game. I want to check the over under on that one actually. But for me, kind of bring it back to Jets Cowboys, and also because I went to a work event on Thursday and everybody came up to me, all the Cowboys fans, and had something to say, right? So I've been dealing with this all week and I'm just kind of like, oh my God, I'm done with it. But my point to them was, I think the Jets will be a real good test because like we had said in the beginning of the show, I mean, we couldn't really see what the Cowboys offense was going to do. And I think it's a good test for both teams, right? Like, what are you getting out of the Jets? What are you getting out of the Cowboys? So I'll be interested to see that. So those are kind of the three that I'm, looking forward to. And just kind of seeing if the Lions can keep their momentum going too.
Yeah, definitely. And the over-under for the Chiefs and Jags is 51. So it started at 52, but now it's down to 51. So there you go, over-under. So I don't know.
I go over.
Yeah, that could be a high score. It could be high scoring. The Chiefs coming off a loss.
Right.
Jags at home. It could be close. I think that could be an over, I think, too. So but Deb, any games you're looking forward to in week 2? Any matchups, any storylines? What do you look forward to week 2?
For sure. I mean, I'm looking forward to the 49ers at Rams. A California game, I guess. I mean, both coming off a week 1 wins, so that's good. I guess the 49ers are 7.5 point favorites. But I mean, the 49ers have won 8 of their past 9 games against the Rams. But I think it's going to be a really good game. You know what I mean? Like the 49ers, I keep saying this on every podcast, but I've never seen a team built like this. You know what I mean? McCaffrey, I mean, Kittle, Williams, Bosa, Samuel, like I could just keep going.
But Brandon Ayuk.
Yes. But the Rams, are looking good too. You know what I mean? Like they have finally, I feel like, woken up after a 2-year Super Bowl hangover. You know what I mean?
Right.
So yeah, I mean, Puka was looking great. Tutu looking great. Matthew Stafford, 334 passing yards in last game. But yeah, I'm a little worried about Cooper Kupp being out with the 49ers game. But, I mean, obviously they have Aaron Donald, but I don't know. We'll see. I think the 49ers are going to win it, but we'll see. So that's the one I'm looking forward to the most. Also looking forward to Chargers Titans. Kind of bummed that Eckler may be out, but we'll see if that actually happens. I don't know. I feel just because the Chargers and Dolphins game last week in week 1, I mean, God, such a great game. It was the only game that I really felt like there was NFL players out there. Total package. It was back and forth. It was old school football. It was an exciting game. Obviously, Dolphins took it, but I think the Chargers will take this game for sure. I think Tannehill kind of is not, up to par. And I think the Chargers will take it. So I'm excited to see Herbert out there and actually win a game. So.
Yeah, I agree. And I think just to add all those games, I like Jets. We talked about Jets Cowboys just to see where Zach Wilson's going to go against this defense and what are we going to see from the Dallas offense. He said that we didn't see much of it last week, but now we get to see, okay, what are they going to be a passing team? They're going to be a running team. I know we all talked about that. What identity are they going to have? I think this might be a low scoring game, actually, to tell you the truth, because they got good defenses on both sides. And I think it's probably going to come down to if anybody turns the ball over or anything like that. So we'll see that game. I think that's another game. Browns and Steelers is going to be interesting. The Steelers got whooped. They got whooped by San Francisco at home. And then the Browns coming off a big win against Cincinnati. Can Cincinnati turn around? As you said, that was a huge win for Cleveland as well. And they have the Cincinnati's number the last 2-3 years anyway. So I know Jamar Chase called them elves. I think he called them.
Elves,
yeah.
Like, damn, I called them elves, and then we lost a bunch of elves.
Lost to elves. Like, come on, man. It's like, really?
Like, you're still calling them elves, and you just lost them. Damn.
Yes. So, I mean, Joe Burrow, I think he'll come back. He'll turn around. Yeah. He had a bad game. He'll turn around too. So those are some of the storylines I'm looking forward to. But let's get into a little fantasy, and I'll let you guys go. I really enjoyed it. It's like I can talk to you guys for hours. But let's get into fantasy. Nikki, I know we're in the same league as always the last 3 years. Yeah. Me and you are at the top, as we predicted. as
yes.
we said we were going to do.
Yes.
I think you're first. You had the most points. I was third, and everything
Yeah.
too. So let's. What do you think? Like, what's your predictions and things like that? Like, how do you feel about your team? I know it's week 1, but how do you feel? Do you feel confident? Like, how do you feel?
I
Riding
feel
high.
good. This is what Courtney tries to do every year. It gets me on. It's like, whoa, what do you think of fantasy wise? What do you like? Yeah, like tell me.
Give me your moves.
Yeah, like no, he does this every year. That's because I'm his kryptonite, right?
She is.
Just
She
when
is.
he thinks, yes.
Nikki, literally last time I talked to Courtney, he was like, Nikki's amazing. She's the queen of fantasy. She beats all of us. Like, he gave you such good props. So
She is. No, she's really good. I mean, very good. No, very good. I mean, like I said, this is our 3rd year together playing, and me and Nikki seem like we're always at the same spot when we draft. Like either I'm always ahead of her, but like I think
I
this
won
year,
always.
and she won the 2 years ago, and then it's like she beat me again. Like really, it's like I was like I can't get that off my back, but. This year is going to be a little different, so we'll see.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. And I have to hear about it.
Yes.
I have to hear about it, guys. He doesn't let it go. I just want to let everybody know.
I
Like
don't.
it goes all year until the next year, and then you still have to hear about it. No, I feel good. I feel confident. I you feel as good as you can, really. You just try to, I always say like with our league and stuff. And a lot of people ask me, for advice. And I don't know about you guys, but I'll just get random people's lineups sent to me. And they're like, can you look at this? Right.
Start and sit.
Right. Start and sit. Yeah. And you're just like, I don't know. What's your league like? But I think, my big thing is always know your opponent. Right. I mean, we've played together for a few years now, so we know each other. Like, yeah, I've swiped people, or who your opponent's going to go try to get on a waiver wire. So I think, if you're not new to your league, always keep that in mind. Who's your opponent? Who are you playing against? You got to be active on those waiver wires and don't be afraid to trade. I hate these people that just kind of, this is my guy, I'm not giving him up. Well, you might need to. So, but otherwise I feel pretty good.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's good to go 1-0. Start that. Good. I was glad I won by 10 points, something like that. But these close games, but our league is pretty competitive. So
it's tough.
It's super competitive. A lot of trash talking and everything too.
All day.
All day, right? All day. We got a shout out in our hour himself, Nathan Ramasandra, saying hello and everything. He wanted me to tell you this, Nikki. He said, how about them Cowboys? He said,
my God. Get out of here. Look at this. I'm done. I'm done.
Cowboy fans, they're going to come out. They're going to come at you. He said, football roots. Yes. So thanks for tuning in. Always appreciate that. And last one, Deb, congratulations on being honored and featured in the issue of Canvas Rebel magazine. Talking about your journey into TV production and sports journalism. Everyone, read the article, support and everything too. How was that getting that cover story of that from that Canvas Rebel magazine?
It was great. I got an email about it, a phone call about it, and I'm obviously honored because it's an amazing opportunity. And I like it the most too because I get to tell my story and help the aspiring media personalities and producers and sports reporters who are coming up in the business too, and just I get to yell my message is, guys, you can do this too. Like I did this. You can do it as well. So that's why I like to kind of, do those interviews.
I love it. I saw it. I was like, oh yeah, that was well deserved. Put some respect on her name. Put some respect on Nikki's name too. Y'all see those two Emmys back there. Put some respect on Deb's name.
Hopefully about to be 3 because I have another nomination and the writer's strike is I'm nominated right now for Judge Steve Harvey. So we're just waiting for the writer's strike to be over and hopefully we'll have one more.
Yes. Oh my God. Yes. So.
Oh my God. We got to talk. I want to talk about that writer's strike. That's another show. That's a whole other show. Cause I got so much questions, so many opinions. And like I said, as a producer for both of you guys, like it affects a lot of people and their jobs and things like that. It's the strike itself.
It's brutal right now.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll talk. We got to connect again. That's a whole nother.
Whole
I got
other
so,
subject.
I got so many ideas for shows with the media and things like that. I'm it's rolling through. So yeah, we'll definitely talk on that. So
Awesome.
I got some other things, but Nathan just asked. He says he's covering flag football tournament right now. He said shout out to his friend's football tournament, the G League. He's covering. So yes, everyone check that out and follow that as well. Deb and Nikki, thank you guys for coming on to the show. I mean, I'm always thrilled, always glad to talk to you both, and it's always amazing just to connect and all those things. I knew this was going to be another great show, so I just sat back and drove the car. You guys were right there, so I'm going to drive
Always
back
a pleasure.
outside. Always going to drive back outside and enjoy this weather. So it's nice out. So
Yeah.
But let everyone know where they can follow you both, your social medias and all those good things. And everyone, if you slide into the DMs, don't be rude. Don't be, all those things. I know you guys got a segment about that.
Yeah, we do have a segment on the rude.
Yes. I love the segment. I love the first episode, definitely. Oh my goodness. And what was it, Nikki? You said that someone offered you, what did they offer you to be their, was it to be their girlfriend or
sugar baby?
Sugar baby, yeah, sugar baby, yeah.
$5,000 a month, and we had somebody on our in our audience, and Deb's pondering it, and she's like, I think this is a little cheap. And then he was like, hey, you know what, guys, that's like $60,000 a year. And then Deb was like, well, what exactly are what are the job requirements here?
Right, what's this entail? Right.
Like,
you don't want to be like you said.
You don't have to go to a nice dinner.
Yeah, a pimp. He could be a pimp and all this. You're like, what does this entail? Do I just have to, just show up, be your sugar daddy, sugar mama? Yeah. So okay,
dinner, all right,
dinner, things like that. But if I got to do other things, you're like, I don't know. You got to pay me a little bit more.
Add some zeros to that.
That's not it. Yeah.
That's not it. Not it.
Thank you.
Not at all.
Not when groceries are like $500. No, sorry.
How about 60 million? How about that? Not 60,000.
Yeah, really. Oh my God, 60,000.
But
it's a fun segment on our show, and that's open to everybody, by the way. Ladies, if you're getting any crazy DMs, and then gentlemen, I know there's some women out there get a little crazy. Just send it to the Blonde Blitz. Yeah, and we'll feature you on the show. But you guys can find me on all social media platforms at NikkiNick9384. And Blonde Blitz is on the Fantasy Sports Corporation YouTube channel. So go ahead and subscribe, and then you'll know when we're live. I'm still getting asked. I get it. It's still new. It's Wednesdays, 8:00 Eastern. But if you subscribe, you'll get that little pop-up, and it'll tell you that when we are live. And got a lot of good stuff coming up. Right, Deb?
Yep. Cannot wait.
I cannot wait. And you can follow Deb, Sports Report Deb, on all social media platforms as well, and everything. And like you said, Emmy winner, magazines. She does all
I can say that's my co-host.
Yeah, and that's your co-host. That's your co-host. Yeah, that's my friend too. My friend. That. And then Nikki also found Giants coverage. JSN Sporting News, all those good things. I mean, like I said, put respect on these two women. The Blonde Blitz, Wednesday, like I said, YouTube, everywhere, and anywhere you get podcasts. So really appreciate you both. Thank you again. Enjoy the weekend and enjoy some football. I mean, me and Deb can sit back a little bit and Thursday night.
Get some laundry done, actually.
Yeah, Thursday night football. We don't play. Yeah, we don't play the next Monday.
Games,
so I am watching games too, but we can sit back. So, but enjoy the games, everyone, and thank you again to both of you. I really appreciate it.
Thanks, Courtney. Thanks for having us. Bye, guys.
All right, you guys have a good one. All right, that is a wrap for the show. Thanks to Deb and Nikki, the Blonde Blitz. Always enjoy both of them. Again, follow them on social media and the show. Thank you to everyone that tuned in. Thanks for all the comments. All right, until next time, as always, everyone be safe and God bless.